The word gerrymandering is in the news a lot at the moment because the state of Texas is redrawing its congressional districts in a highly controversial move. Now, this channel is about Germany, where that kind of thing doesn't seem to happen. So in this video, I'd like to first briefly explain what gerrymandering is, and then talk about how Germany determines how to draw its electoral constituencies. Briefly then, the US is divided into 385 congressional districts, each one electing a representative to the House of Representatives. Districts are drawn up so that as far as possible each one has a similar population. The US carries out a census every 10 years on which basis the districts are, if necessary, adjusted to keep the numbers approximately right. The issue is that because it's politicians drawing the boundaries, they can be drawn to favour one party over another. For example, imagine a fictional country with a two-party system, with Orange Party voters concentrated in the West and Purple Party voters everywhere else. A fair voting district map would look like this, with Orange winning 1 seat and Purple winning 3. But then the majority Purple government redraws the boundaries like this, and now it can win every seat and Orange gets none. That is gerrymandering. In the US, this has led to some truly bizarrely shaped congressional districts, like this one that favors the Democrats or this one that favors the Republicans. And yes, both parties do it. What's unusual in this case is that it's happening between censuses and on the orders of the president. So how does Germany do it? Well, at first glance, it's not too different. The country is divided into 299 constituencies, each with an approximately equal number of voters. Basically, you take the number of German citizens divided by 299, and that is the figure that you're aiming for. According to the law, the population of any constituency should not deviate from the average by more than 15%. If it deviates by more than 25%, then boundaries must be adjusted. But in addition to that, the law has a provision that tries to minimize the risk of gerrymandering. Constituencies must form contiguous areas and should, wherever possible, follow existing administrative boundaries. This means that if, for example, you live in a city neighborhood where most people vote orange, your neighborhood isn't going to be shaved off and added to a nearby rural district where everybody votes purple so that your vote becomes useless. In Germany, that would be illegal. It is still politicians who ultimately make the decisions, but on the advice of an electoral commission, which is, in theory, politically neutral. It's made up of the current federal returning officer, 1 judge from the Federal Administrative Court, and 5 other members. Still, any system can be exploited if you know how, so it's not a perfect guarantee. But there is one other reason that parties don't try to gerrymander constituencies. There'd be no point. And that is because Germany has a type of proportional representation. Basically, as well as voting for a local representative, voters get to vote for a party list. Once all the directly elected local representatives have been allocated their seats, more representatives are added from the party lists until the proportions are right. And what this means is that if the Orange Party gets 25% of the party list vote, it will get 25% of the seats no matter how the constituencies are redrawn. So even if a political party did somehow manage to gerrymander the map, it wouldn't help them. That is the simplified version. The details are, of course, a bit more complicated, and there have been some recent rule changes to try to keep the proportions as accurate as possible without bloating the Bundestag, which is one of the disadvantages of this system. The current rules do mean that a few directly elected representatives can't actually take up their seats, which is a bit controversial and may be changed again in the future, but at this point it really is just fine-tuning. A simpler solution would of course be to move to a system of pure proportional representation and do away with constituencies and directly elected local representatives entirely. But there is a good reason to keep them. It means that the Bundestag represents the entire country geographically and demographically. You can be sure that there are going to be representatives from the north, the south, the west, and the east, from urban areas and rural areas. regions, from wealthy regions and poor regions, from places with aging populations and places with high student populations. But as flawed as the current system may be, it does have this one great advantage. Gerrymandering is made very difficult and is, in any case, completely pointless. German politicians have to find some other way of being corrupt. Hi, before I go, I just want to say that I'm working very hard on a video that I'm very proud of, and it should be published very soon. If you are a channel member of level better or above, you'll be able to see it a day or two before anybody else, so click on the join button for more information about how to become a channel member.